Tesla's about to do its earning calls after hours on Wednesday, April 20th. And its earnings call, it's an exciting earnings call to listen into because of so many things happening right now in the electric vehicle market, supply chain issues around raw materials for batteries, and of course the backdrop of Elon Musk trying to take over Twitter. Historically, when Elon has done things that are PR heavy, when they release things like flamethrowers and different things that, when Tesla invests a bunch of its balance sheet into cryptos, it's typically to serve as smoke cover for maybe weakness on the sales front or some sort of weakness on the earnings report for Tesla. And so the one big thing that's happened in Q1 has been Tesla's had its Shanghai factory shut down as a function of COVID cases and government shutdowns in that side of the world. And the Shanghai factory for Tesla is its largest production plant in the world. And so, in my mind, I weigh that kind of knowledge. I mean, Tesla's expected to report something like 2.2 billion in Q1 profit on 17 billion in sales. And that's just a little bit off its record of 2.3 billion in a quarter, which happened in Q4 of 21. And it's going to be interesting to see whether sales or profits have dampened as a function of deliveries being more difficult. Tesla's no exception to the rule right now, which is that it's really hard to find brand new cars and getting cars that you really want. James Phillip on his channel talks about that a lot when it comes to cars and automotive. So he's definitely more of an expert on that stuff than I am. But it's definitely interesting because Tesla is the leader in the EV market. I think another thing that's floating around my thinking here is that we recently commissioned a survey at Daggerfinn for a client looking at whether there is as much demand for electric cars, EVs, as people think. And in a nutshell, we asked, as a function of higher gas prices and just the inflationary kind of environment that we're in right now, have people thought about jumping into an electric car? Have people thought about buying an electric car and just getting out of the market for ICE engines? And I think the respondents came back in the high single digits, so 8-9% saying yes, with something like 80% saying that they haven't. And so we're seeing this big shift in the auto market around electric vehicles. Some of the traditional automotive companies are really just retooling their entire product lines to become electric over the next few years. GM comes to mind when I think of that one. And I don't know if in the short term there is as much demand for this stuff as people think. And so when people, Tesla is the leader in the space as a function of its brand equity, I think, more so than anything like people buying into the green part. Some people might, definitely. But I think more people are a fan of Elon Musk and by extension a fan of Tesla, or even the reverse, a fan of Tesla and then a fan of Elon Musk. And that's why they've bought into this brand, which is, I think, a great brand. But what does that mean from a stock market performance standpoint at the earnings call today? It wouldn't surprise me if, with the backdrop of Netflix falling off a cliff because of its subscriber numbers, that we see something here where Tesla falls a little bit because, we've got the smoke show of the Twitter stuff going on, and that's trying to cover something more fundamental in the financial statements. But it also wouldn't surprise me if they went up a giant amount too, such as the kind of volatility of the market right now. So it's going to be an interesting earnings call. There's a lot going on in the background right now. Raw material prices, I think, are also something that's really key to the financial statement that Tesla will put out. I mean, if raw materials are going up and the cost of goods sold for them goes up, then what does that mean from a profitability standpoint as well? So it's going to be interesting, and they're going to be reporting in a few hours. I'm sitting here on Wednesday, April 20th, and so we'll see.